Great. Onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Okay, okay. Great. We'll just loosen a little bit. Just look at the vertical. Loosen the body out. We'll do the same. I think we did this last week, Monday, I can't really remember. But we'll do each of the directions. And in between, we'll just do a set of kind of decompression breathing. So just again 3 deep breaths. So just slow way down. Just find the feet on the ground. And you can use the hands here, you can use them wherever you want, but the key thing is just sense of open up, breathing in through the back. Lengthening out. And then as you breathe out, pulling the belly away from the pants. Lengthen through the torso. Another deep one in, breathe in right into the back of the ribcage. Canal back out. And out. And one last one in. And out. Just take it forwards. Get it back. And just start to make it a bit smaller, start to bring yourself back into the center. Settle in, and then again, we'll do another round, so just bringing the hands on. Deeply in. Deeply out. And one last breath. Take it to the side to side. Open up the rib cage. Feel the weight of the head swinging side to side. And just slowly start to bring yourself towards the center. Make the movement a bit smaller. Settle into the feet. And again, we're just coming to decompression. Breaths. In and filling up all the time. One last breath in. And just lightly with a rotation. The arms going up. Nice strong contact with the feet. Just let the breath go natural between the movements. And you can just slowing it down, coming back to the center. Smaller. And get 3 deep breaths. Really widening the body this case, left and right. The elbows kind of pulling away from each other. Last one. And last movement, close and then open the body up. A little bit tighter, but back to center. Last round, breaths. And expansion in. Compression in as well. Expansion out. And length and decompression out. That's breath. Great. Okay, so we'll take it to a really simple set. We'll go to the founder first. So these are mostly asymmetrical postures. So you just want a little bit wider. In this case, with my yoga mat, just have the width of it. So just start with just engaging the hip, hinging back, and just let the arms just kind of naturally come forward. So fingers floating them out, and just get that from the hips. Reach back, hands reach forward, and knees just unlock, but don't bend forward. So classic position. Just let the knees lengthen out to the back. Hips go back, hands reach forwards. Hips engage the movement both ways. Just allow yourself, as you do this, just to settle in a bit longer each time into the kind of founder, into the pose. So start with just a couple of seconds. Pull yourself out, make it a bit longer, 3 seconds or so. Each one, just make it a bit longer, a little bit deeper. While the breath also kind of guide the movements, it's kind of a deep breath out as you go. Breathing back in. Breathing out as you go. Breathing in as you come up. Next one, just go to that position and just hold it. And again, 3 deep breaths as you do this. So as you do it, just think about pulling the hips back a little bit further. It's not pulling the hands, reaching the hands a little bit further out. And feel those good 3 points of contact in each foot. And you can do that by just kind of pulling the toes up gently. So you kind of want to be in the heel, base of the big toes glued in, and the outside edge of the little toe just before the little toe. Anchor in, just reach yourself a bit further out. Play with anchoring the body by pressing the legs out, squeezing the ground in and squeezing the ground out. Just alternate between those 2 kind of patterns in this case. Feel a kind of twitching, trembling in the body. It's fine. Just anchor the body a little bit more. Okay, release it. Yeah. And then we're just going to go back into it and then go into the ground. So we'll go into it, we'll go up, and then we'll go down with it and release the spine. So in this case, we'll go a little bit wider with the feet, so just a touch wider. And just go into it again, so you're going to float the arms out. Settle into it here, real strong anchor in the ground. Feel the feet really anchor you into the floor. And leaving the hips where they are, just scoop the hands up. Reach up to the sky or the ceiling. Kind of supinating the arms in this case, so you're bringing them up, palm up. Reach the fingertips up, long through the neck. Couple of deep breaths here. Breathe into the back, lengthen through the abdomen as you breathe out. Next breath out, draw the hands thumb down, and just roll the spine down. As you reach the bottom of the movement, just curl the spine, relax it a little bit. And just check your anchor in the ground, you can pull the toes up. Just feel that you're really grounded. The hips go back, knees open. Okay, we'll take it into a couple of windmills from here. So you're going to have the right hand just raises up, lead with the hip, and reach up. So although the hip's not doing a lot of movement, the hip's going to be the anchor for the body in this case. So try and keep, in this case, the hips kind of neutral, 90, neutral, equally in position basically. So one hip's not kind of listing one way, just neutral, both feet plugging into the ground, open the torso. So a couple on one side. And in this case, just gradually feel you can pull the fingers out of the ground so that the finger just basically touches the floor. So there's no real weight in it. All the weight's back in the hips. Run for a few. And if you're just on one side, like I've just done, just do the other side as well. If not, just keep alternating. And try and keep the hips equal. Also, big movement up. Just a few more. Good. And then just ground the hands back down. Just lightly touch fingers in. Pull the back a little bit longer. So you're going to basically float the hands just off the ground. So really tricky position for the back. Really anchor the body again. And you're going to reach up with the hand one way. Keep that hand down. Really tough position actually. So gorilla. And you're floating the hand off the ground in this one. Reach up. Reach up. Just a few here. Good. And then just find the ground again with the hands. Release the back a little bit. Just give it a break. Good. Find the shin bone. Pull the back long. Just again, refine that anchor. You can pull the toes up. Feel the ground contact. And then rather than pull right up, you're going to keep the back long. Just pull the arms up to the back. Pull them out long. Pressure into the feet. And then straw the body up. Swap feet together. Let's shake out the back. Really. So that last one's a really tough one, like kind of gorilla. Especially when you float the hands off. So really loosen the spine out a little bit. And then we'll just do one which is an asymmetrical, so go into a lunge. Make it quite narrow, so not too deep. Just feel you've got a kind of elastic feeling in the legs. Nice and grounded. Again, just feel, this is really in the front foot, just pull the toes up, because obviously you need the toes. And the back foot. Just pull them up and just feel that you've got that 3 points of contact. Heel, base of the big toe, and outside edge of the foot. A little bit of a bounce in it. And then here we'll do opposite. So you're going to pull this hip back and you're going to reach this hand forward in this case. So you're going to kind of reach opposite hip to hand. This hand just kind of leave it at the hip. Just reach it out and draw it back. Reach out, draw it back, and keep the knee basically forward so it doesn't kind of go forwards at all in this case. Just a little opens it back. Just play with that direction so the key thing is getting the hip, engaging, and working with the hand. In this case, working the opposite. Connection. In this case, left hip to right hand. Left hip to right hand. Just a few kind of natural, just reach out with it. So. And then just start to emphasize this, you're going to kind of roll the hand palm up and reach it out this way. And you're kind of reaching across through the center line in this case. So you're working through the center line in this one. So looking for basically a balance within kind of an asymmetrical position. Not too far out in this one. Just reach out forwards, pull yourself back. Good. And then we'll reach out both hands and look for a kind of hip square in this case. Just balancing the weight forwards onto that front leg. And again, feel without moving any weight, moving the knee forwards at all. Start to shift the weight of the body forward onto that front hip. That front hip starts to catch the body, the weight. And then what I want to do is just from that back hip, just spiral from the hip and just roll across that front hip. We open out this front hip here. Reach out as far as you can, just a couple of deep breaths. Widen the arms. I was trying to imagine someone's pulling the hands apart or trying to pull the hands apart, and I'm resisting that pull. And also equally, I don't want the hands to collapse in. I'm also resisting, in a way, two directions, or I'm anchoring the body in such a way that that pull wouldn't affect me. Pull yourself back to center, and then just going to reach, keep the weight in the front leg as you go, just reach up a little bit higher. So come up to kind of up just in front of the head with the hands. Really all in that front hip now. Tricky pose as well to kind of balance in and find an anchored position. Couple of deep breaths in, again breathe into the back and lengthening it through the spine. And as you come back, draw back to center. Pull the body back. Let's just shake that leg out a little bit. I'll do exactly the same other side. So just kind of not too big. Again, just get that kind of bounce, elastic quality through the body. Feel the hips are kind of square on in this case. You don't want them kind of twisted. Square, knee back. Good point, good contact with the ground. Front leg. And again, just chopping the hip back. So you're going to chop opposite hand, just reach out. Knee doesn't release, knee releases back, hips go back, hand, upper body, and reach out. Lengthening, extending all the time. Last one, just that feeling of pulling the arm out, long palm up, hip pulls back. That's where you're really anchored in that front leg, front hip. Pull the body back with it and then reaching the hands both out forward and trying to kind of find the center line. And just feel that you can start to shift a little bit more weight in the front leg without bending the knee. Pull the hips back a little bit. Anchor the body into the front foot. Front hip. Feel the center line. One deep breath in. Deep breath back. And then from here, you're going to go in and spiral through that back hip. And all that weight now goes to that front hip, right into the front hip. You can hold this position where you can just kind of roll in and out of it. Just how you feel comfortable with. Great. Pulling back, and then again, just rolling up a little bit higher, but keep that weight in the front leg. Spiral up to the top, really tricky position. Weight in the front, spiraling up, real active position. Try and hold it. Pull a couple of deep breaths in at the back. Out in tension in the abdomen. One last breath, just hold it a little bit more. Scissor the legs together with the contact. And breathe yourself back down. Pull yourself back. And loosen up the hip. Okay, that's what we'll just do for the shoulders. So you're just going to trace down up the shoulders. So you put the thumbs just below the thigh bone, or just on the thigh bone. And then you're going to trace up. We're trying to do these kind of fluid. Raise with the elbows. Let the thumb just cross the chest. Hands just pass. And then you're going to transition. Thumbs go to the top of the rotator cuff. You know, hands go just touching behind the fingers just touching behind the head. Lengthen out with the elbows. And then you're going to bring yourself into contact with the hands, with the fingertips, and then raise them up. Just pull the hands up top of the head. And then we trace all the way back down, come down, back of the head, separate, thumbs go onto the top, spread out the elbows a little bit. And then you're going to transition the thumbs over, elbows come up, all the way down, and lead it now with the elbow pressing down. So no real movement happens in the wrist in this case. Come up, lead it with the elbows, trace up the body, all the way up. Thumbs on the top of the shoulder, open out the shoulders a little bit. You can also think about pulling the elbows forwards, that's also a nice position for the shoulder. Roll them up and then come back, contact, fingertips, pull the arms up long, front of the head. Release back down. Shoulder, organize the elbow and then pressure down. And one last one, coming out. To the shoulder, open up gently. Fingertips together, raising up, sphere of tension at the top. Really sit down. Just hold it here a little bit, just pull the arms long. Gently roll the shoulders forwards, pull the elbows forwards, arms go back, or hands stay where they are, actually, but the elbows come forwards. Hold it, and feel the spine's kind of neutral and long, and kind of pull the spine up. And switch, elbows come up and pressure down. Release it. Okay. Last one, just put in the outside edge of the hand, just on the outside of the hip. Just pull the arms out long. Imagine you, without gripping, imagine you've got a jaw across the body and you're kind of pulling the jaw out long, pulling the body out this way. Just opening out. Feel that rather than so much squeezing the shoulder blades together, you're kind of just opening, spreading the back. Elbows go back. And I want to kind of, if I had a jaw, we can do it through the jaw actually, but feel that you're wrapping the body, dropping the jaw around the body. So you're wide in the back, not kind of closing it. Wide. Release it. We do a couple. Pull long, widen through the shoulders. Elbows go back. Nice deep breath in. Wide, release it. And we one more. Open out. And release it. Great. I'll just loosen up the arms a little bit. Just loosen out the wrists. And down a little bit. Side to side. There, the arms. That's our point. Slowly settling the weight down. Let it go to a pulse. And then settle the body down. Very good. Okay, we will do jump today. Let's see where we are. Okay, good. We'll look at a little bit of Kumito work. So we'll just start with a little bit of ski work in this case. So just play with the front, just nice basic. Ski, settle and pulling back. Ski, settle and pulling back. Settle. Good, and then just changing the side. The other side. This is the right for me. Great. And just try this the next side. Just make 2 on each side. So you just change the side each time. But what you do in this case is you just thrust 1, and then feel you've got the weight forward, and then you just press the body in again. It's kind of one of the basics for me. This idea of, especially on the attacking side, or really on the attacking side, the pressure in. So the pressure kind of continues in all the time. It starts with this kind of really simple exercise in a sense, but you thrust in, and then you release, thrust in again. In the pattern, we've also got in the 31. If you go to the 31 Kubijo, you've got that set in the later set of V. Look, settle, grounded, and press in again. So kind of continuous pressure in. Great. That's it. That's it. That's it. Nice. Great. Good. Okay. So it's a bit tricky if you don't have the space. You don't necessarily have to go forward with this next one, or you do 3 and just think about the different levels. So you've got low, medium, high, or Gedan, Chudan, Jodan in terms of terminology. So you can do them in any order, but just play with it. So you've got Gedan, release, Chudan, release, Jodan. And you can do them in any way. You can do 3 Chudan, 1 Gedan, or 2 Chudan, 2 Gedan, 1 Gedan. Maybe whatever you feel, just mix them up. Key things again, anchoring in the body, in the ground, and that continuous pressure forwards. So you're continuing your attack, continuing the pressure. And you do that with first starting just with being balanced, anchored in the ground, and able to apply weight through the jaw. That's good. And as you do it, just bring your attention constantly to basically being in the middle each time. So if you think about balance in a really simple sense, in our sense of balance, that you're basically your weight's distributed evenly. So and that's a really simplistic way to look at it. But just look at it in this case. So I've got like 50-50. during the motion, you're obviously compressing, so the weight's going to one leg, this one frees. But as you finish the ski, each time, just go back to this feeling of like, I'm in 50-50. It's very easy, if you notice, especially the up and the down one, it's very easy to be loaded in the front leg. And as I release, what needs to happen is I need to refine the back and then do it. So I'm basically masking that imbalance with the movement. So see if you can look for basically really being in balance, which means that the weight's evenly distributed. And then my next movement doesn't have a big kind of signaling into it, but very tricky to also, it's very easy in this case for the weight to just shift forward, even like 5% or so. But try and feel that you're really evenly distributed, and then the next movement can be really kind of signal free in a sense, or it's possible for it to be signal free. Yeah, good. And the best thing is just ask yourself, am I in the middle? Is my weight in the middle? Where is my balance basically? Yeah, good. That's it. Yeah, great. Okay, great. So I want to look at some of the basic forms and also look at some variations for them as well. So there's different ways you can look at the variations. You can look at variations in the attack form, or you can look at variations in the receiving side. And in this case, we'll look at some variations in the receiving side, but we'll start just with basic number one. So look at the attack in this case, just focusing on that same feeling here. You've got the ski straight away into the block and then following with a second ski. Yeah. So try and do this in flow, in a sense, with the first movements of this into the block. Find that pause, find that weight in the back leg, and then find the second ski. So just play with this, but working from a. So it's really key on that first move comes together, and then a lot of the time we kind of split that movement. Just see if we can bring it together. So it's ski into a spiraling block, and then pressure in. And just feel that anchor in the feet, evenly distributed weight across both feet. So this is the first move of the attacking side. Yeah, good. Nice. Good. Good. Okay, good. So don't break this into two movements again, but just see if you can just slow it down so that you basically keep the intention in the original ski. So just watch for this. Well, the problem with this is I kind of do, and then the second ski gets all the focus, and the first ski, the initial move, gets kind of wet in a sense. So keep this, or you've got a choice with this. You can go just with the ski and land it, or you can go with the ski and change it, and then you find the second one. Yeah, but the feeling in that first ski is exactly the same as if I was to just press through, but I just convert it into that leg drops in with the hip and then pressure in. So I'm converting into a block so that I can basically take that energy of the ski and press it into the second ski, which is really just the continuation of the first one. So you can either land that first ski, or you can just follow that spiral. Yeah. Yes, yeah. That's it. Good. Nice. Yeah. Okay, great. So we'll stick to this side, just going now to that second and third and fourth movement in this case. So you've got 1, 2, and then hit play with changing. In this case, just play with rolling on the spot in this case. So we're going to kind of really compressed form, but you come to this top position, protect that head. And then you've got the feeling that the hips behind the connection with the hands presses in, and then you take it into the 𝘱𝘭𝘪𝘏. And you just pull yourself back. So you've got ski into a spiral block. Second ski, and then roll the hips. Full extension here, and then release. And press into that 𝘱𝘭𝘪𝘏. Just think about balance again. In between the movements. Where is the balance in the body? Nice. Good. Nice. Very nice. Okay, we'll go to the defending side. So again, just start with a kind of 𝘰𝘠𝑚 form, looking for the middle of the posture each time, which starts right at this beginning position. So nice and neutral, and then you're going to go in, and we'll just go to the top, just into that block position, and just give yourself time to kind of block and settle the weight, and just come back down. Studying again that kind of balance through the center of the body. Evenly distributed the weight. So two kind of forms in the case, one out with the extension and one raising with the extension. Thrusting out and blocking. Good. Okay, we'll go a little bit further. So if you look at the original books, you'll also see the form stops at this point in the kata. So we'll stop it, or this part in the kumiju. So you got this into the block, and then bringing the hip in, and then finishing on the head. And the old form, or the original form of this, which that was the finish. It was extended a little bit later. Ski, embrace underneath, and then the key thing again, anchor in the hip, the feet, and then release the back hip. Strong strike to the head. And the original form, you just control it at the top of the head. It'll basically a finish. Lock and strike. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay, nice. Good. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, what I want, just focus on the last movement of the kumiju. We'll put it together now, but I'm just going to change it over because of the ceiling. So you need a bit of space to pick this up. So imagine you've basically hit strike here onto the head. Now in this case, you've got the person basically opening you out, and what I need to do is through that pressure that goes to the tip of the jaw, I need to transfer it into that front leg, which is going to give me the ability to move the back leg and then curl around the attack. So bit tricky in the sense of doing it solo, but just imagine you've got someone pressing the end of the weapon and you just want to feel it. The first thing is just that. Just feel the weight transfers. Don't worry what happens in the jaw, in this case. Later, I don't want to really disconnect from it. I don't want to tighten it up, but just feel you could, if there was pressure here down, just receive it and let it settle. Now, this is hard because you've not got the pressure. You need to generate in the body, and that's going to also make it tricky because I'm basically generating the pressure myself. I actually need the pressure to be external. So in this case, just try and feel what it'd be like and feel how I would receive it. But trying to add, it's tricky because you don't want to add the movement. You don't want to add into the movement in a sense. It's a bit of a tricky area in solo work. Yes. So, yeah, good. Now we'll just split it. Later, this all goes to one movement. Just split this into the kind of two movements, or really three movements, like there. I want to really keep the arms connected, the weight's transferred into the front leg, and then feel that you're going to take the leg in, and you want to protect this elbow as you go in. Yeah, so what you want to really avoid in this case is the elbow flaring out as you come in, and this is really easy for it to get caught through the move. So just break this in. You've got the strike. You receive the weight starts to transfer in the front leg, and then I roll through it, protect the head and the elbow as you go in, and then you're going to roll the left hip around and find the strike. So just try it as kind of three separate moves. You drop in, weight transfers that front leg, left leg's free to roll in, and then left hip goes in. Yes. And just be aware in this case of the center line. That's the person's trying to take the center line, and you're basically passing over it, so it needs to be quite tight. You're like the thin end of the wedge in this case. Especially that elbow really gets in the way if you can flare out. So try and keep compact. Entering a really thin doorway. Good. Okay, see if you can bring this all together now. So starting from the beginning, I'm just going to float the drum a little bit off the ground. Feels a bit weird, but we go into 1, into 2, 3, and then 4. So I try and bring that all together now. Catch that. And again, just take yourself back to kind of that idea of balance, weight distribution in the middle. Find the middle. Find the middle. Find the middle. At least if I'm evenly distributed, I give the hips a chance to be able to motivate the movement. Basically what you want. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Wow. Right, great. So before we go to the variation, just look at a really a kind of KIHON variation of this. So a bit slow, but well, the focus on this is really focus on the handwork. So the handwork needs to become a little bit softer than in the basic. So if you do this, think about there's a kind of pulse running through the hand. Now, especially this is true on that last movement. So watch this. If that hand fixes on the weapon, as I go to that, this arm will start to pull out, and this will go into a really awkward position for that arm. And especially at speed, this will get worse. So if I try and do that speed, everything kind of rolls out of the shoulders. So when you do that last move, really think about you've got this strike, and then this hand's kind of releasing. I actually give the person that push, and that allows me actually to roll the jaw over and find the second strike. So in this case, think about soft contact with the hands before going too fast. So you're trying to bring that grounding work, that pulsing through the body into the hand, and into the hands, and into the hands. Same way we would do with striking work, basically. Pulse and release, pulse and release, pulse and release. Yeah, that's it. Nice, good, nice. Okay. Push. Push. Okay. That's it. Nice. Great. So in terms of like didactic in this case, you've got like the basic form, and then you've got the fluid form, and then you've got the variations which come out of the fluid form. You can obviously like do the variations from a static position or in KIHON, but in a sense that the problems that the variations solve, they come basically in the fluid work. So if I can't hold the fluid position, I generally don't go to variations in this case. But in this case, we'll look at a few variations just on the end movement. The first one you'll notice, which is basically from the 31 kata, which is this pulling the jaw back and then into a 𝑔𝘰𝘠𝗫𝗓. Yeah, you've got a few variations actually in this movement itself, but we'll just try and do this one first. So this is here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So where you would be pushed and separated, you're going to roll the jaw back, and then you're going to whip the hip in and finish it. Yeah, give it a try. And you want to basically hold it in a kind of fluid way. Obviously, if I need to kind of pull back, go back to KIHON or kind of pause in it, I will, but generally try and hold it in a KIHON, in a KIHON. And there's one variation on this form, pretty much exactly the same movement. You just change the target. So rather than striking the knee, in this case, of the person as they come in that way, so they're going to come in that way, you strike the knee. What you aim for as they come in this way is that front elbow. And the strike is going to be, if you look at the way that elbow is positioned, in that position, it's going to be a rising strike, and it's going to go up into the elbow this way. You see this in the old Kentai-Jo forms. As the person comes in with a strike, they're here, and the strike's going up into the elbow to basically control them. So in this case, you're looking for the same strike, but it's for that front elbow to come here, and you're looking to basically control the person here. So what that looks like as you do it is like this. Oh, I need to show my video. One sec. Get my lung on. No, it doesn't make sense. So here, it's that same motion you would do this, same body work, but you release and you strike up with it. So the movement of the hands is now this, striking up with it, but it's got that same hip movement. This is I strike the knee, and then this is I strike the elbow, basically hold the elbow. Yeah. And you're looking to basically take the elbow out. So just play with that. You've got the get and strike, or you've got that same movement going for an elbow control. Nice. Well, that one. Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, nice. So, okay, so you can stick with that one. You can also play with this one as well. So this runs for a really specific solution in a sense. I go here, and then as I go here, the person really strikes through the 𝘰𝘁. So what happens is that the 𝘰𝘁 really goes out to this direction. So it goes really far out, and I'm really in danger of the body being disconnected here. Now I can't, in this position, with the 𝘰𝘁 being here, I can't pull the 𝘰𝘁 around, go for the strike and finish it. I'll just be too late. I'll be striking it. So I just take that the 𝘰𝘁's down there, keep the same dynamic of pressing that front leg, and then I'm just going to whip the 𝘰𝘁 up from here with the hip, and I go strike for the solar plexus in this one. This is the strike right low, pretty low with this one. So that one's this, and it's this, and just imagine a really strong strike comes in. It's like a there, boom, really disconnects me or risks me being really disconnected, sink the weight in and you whip the hip in through. And if you want, you can follow through with it with the back hip as well. But that one is a case where I'm doing a fluid form and the person's really aggressively bang hitting the 𝘗 down. Just accept where the 𝘗 is and connect the hip into it. Ui, sorry. Okay, great. Okay, last minute, just play with all the, so you've got the basic form, going for the left side strike. You've got the 𝘵𝘢𝘵𝑖, strike the knee. You've got the 𝘵𝘢𝘵𝑖 going for the elbow. And you've got this last one we did, which is to strike the solar plexus. They really come through different situations which arise when I'm doing a kind of fluid practice. And that's really the kind of beauty of variations. Just follow the body and connect with the 𝘗. Whoa! There we go. Yeah, try. Ground shifting. I got that too. Ground's moving. Why is that?
Gorilla tape works well in keeping
Gorilla tape.
together, but yeah, it's magic carpet.
It all goes together. So mine got the opposite problem. The mat's separating. So
yeah, gorilla tape.
Gorilla tape. Good idea. Gorilla tape. Get some of this. Whoa. Nice. Perfect. Very good. Right. Yeah, perfect. So again, like in terms of teaching, also when I'm teaching this, it's like the basic, static, and then if I can hold that, or I can hold the group in that static, go to flowing. If everyone can hold the flowing, we can maybe go into variations, but I won't go to variations until we can get somehow into a kind of fluid motion, because all those variations basically come out of situations which arise in a fluid kind of way as you do it. Okay. Okie dokie. Very good. Great. Domo, arigatou gozaimasu.
Come on, arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you.
Very good. Super.